coming from quintile 1 to 3. It will be a healthy split. 20% quintile 4 and 5. It doesn't mean when you increase the quota of quintile 1 to 3, the quintile 4 to 5 will underperform. They would still perform, but the split will be much healthier, reflecting the reality of the country. Because over 80% of our schools are not fee-paying schools. Over 90% of our schools are receiving national school for national program for school funding. So you can see that quintile 1 to 3, slight drop of 0 to 4, but an increase of 3,509 bachelors because of the proportion of the size of the group that enrolled. Even though the percentage has increased, but the number, the percentage has decreased, the number has increased. Quintile 4 to 5, slightly increased by 0 to 4%, and contributing 3,823. We can still grow this even further going forward. In the interest of time, I'm going to run quicker over the other slides. Age, the notion of catching them young, the younger they are, the better they perform. Because they focus on education. They don't have other things to focus on. They just focus on schooling. And what we emphasize is that learners must go to school every day. Go to school every day. If you are online, keep to the point of contact every day. Here, what we are trying to demonstrate is that except for areas that we've highlighted with circles, like age 16, in other areas, the class of 2025 is performing better than the class of 2024. In terms of age. In terms of gender again, girl learners, where we have circled, girl learners are doing better than boys. And you can see, it's in the majority of those ages, girl learners are simply performing better, finishing their schooling on time. And this is the breakdown. I'm going to move and I'm going to jump this one. You can see that in accounting, Limpopo is leading in performance in terms of achievement. Limpopo is followed by Western Cape. Mathematics achievement, Western Cape is leading, and it's followed by Northwest. Physical science, Limpopo is leading again, and followed by Western Cape. Technical mathematics, KZN is leading the pack, pushing it almost to 100%. Maths participation, the number of learners who are doing mathematics. And let me emphasize, there are 3 types of mathematics that we are offering in our schools. It's pure mathematics, it's technical mathematics, mathematics for artisans, technical mathematics if you want to know. And then there's mathematical literacy. Mathematical literacy is for social use, to be able to run your personal life better, to work out your accounts and be able to manage your budget on a day-to-day life. You need math lit to prepare you for that. In fact, some experts are saying even those that are doing technical maths and pure mathematics, they need math lit to be able to run their lives properly. Because there'll be maths experts, there'll be astronomers who don't know how to run their lives, medical doctors, and even pilots who don't know how to run their lives. Bachelors, KZN is leading in terms of percentages. of course followed by the Western Cape. Distinction, KZN is leading, and of course followed by the Western Cape. Throughput, Western Cape is leading, followed by Eastern Cape. South African Sign Language, there's an improvement of 1.3%, which is good. Raw marks that were attained from their examination. And I want to thank the ASC of Umalusi for having said to us, you have to work on the South African Sign Language. Make sure that you support these schools and support learners. Here they are. On their own, they are able to perform. Technical maths, these subjects are doing well. You can see overall they are doing well. There might be some slight drops in some of these subjects, but overall they are doing well. There's no reason why our children are not doing these subjects. The majority of them have got to do them, because that's what will equip them better to be more attracted by the market and be able to solve our problems now and even in the future. These are the home languages. You can see some of them drop slightly, as you can see there. These are the official first languages. You can see overall performance good, but drop in some. And these are the selected subjects. You see some of them dropped, and some of them went up. You can say that the summary of our story is sweet and sour. First additional language level, and that's the performance there. Technical subjects, as I've said, some of the decline you see, it's very minuscule, it's very small. But we have to be transparent. These are the numbers that we put out. Well, the good news is that we no longer have any district that is below 80% in the Republic of South Africa. Nobody thought that it can be achieved. In fact, some districts that we are about to give up on have performed so well that they've even exceeded expectation. I think we can give them a big hand of applause. Now, in the top 10 districts, there's a lot of movement there, and I must warn, even in the ranking of provinces, there's movement. Some which were on the top, they are no longer in the top. If you look for them, you have to find them somewhere. Some which were in the middle are no longer there. Some which were at the bottom, you will not find them there. You can see even the top 10 districts.
The Matric class of 2025 benzile kwakhona baphume emagqabini kwaye ke siyinkqubo ye-expressions sizobathulela umnqwazi kudala beqoshalaza beziqingqela ikamva eliqaqambileyo. Ukhumbuza kaloku mbukeli, the Minister of Basic Education Siviwe Gwarube will be doing the announcement just few hours away. It's exciting. Also, kukhona naboyikayo, kodwa ke silapha siyinkqubo ye-expressions, ukukuthi cha amaqala. Kanti ke mbukeli, to help us unpack this discussion, we are joined by yena kaloku mbukeli, Prof. Mary, who is the educational expert. Prof, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Expressions.
Thank you so much, Kalosa. I don't think I need the mic, eh?
No, you do
I
need
do?
the mic, yes.
Okay. Then-
Thank you so much for joining us. I'll just hold it for you. Mary, I mean, this is an exciting moment for South Africa, a historic moment in the educational calendar. We do understand that, I mean, these learners, they did not only start in 2025, but it's been years of resilience, hard work that is actually paying off today. What does this moment mean for South Africans?
Well, you've started with the question of what does it mean for the learners. And you've said correctly that this is 12 years and in many cases more than 12 years of hard work, of learning discipline, of mastering content knowledge. And I think Minister Gorhube in her address to the learners who excelled said this is something that belongs to each family. So firstly, the announcement of the results which the learners will get at schools tomorrow is a celebration for each family, a moment to reflect and to plan. But for the country, today's event is really looking at the health of the system.
Yeah.
How are we doing overall, not individually, but how's the system doing?
Yeah, and speaking about the system, I mean, we've just had, Mr. Matanzima, who is the DG of Education, giving us a technical report, over the years, I mean, looking at the journey of the Matric class of 2025. And, I mean, we must say that, I mean, he even mentioned that they are one class that have really been resilient. I mean, looking at some of the challenges that the education sector has faced over the years, I mean, the issue of overcrowding in classes, not forgetting the exam breach that recently occurred, I mean, in December. What does this represent? I mean, how does it represent our education curriculum and sector?
Okay, so in terms of resilience, this class was if the learners passed every year, when they were in grade 7, they lost a year of schooling because of COVID. In grade 8, they were beginning to come back, but this was a difficult transition for them. Fortunately, after that, there haven't been major incidents, although obviously at a local or domestic level there can be. So in terms of resilience, it's just the resilience of keeping on trying. In terms of the challenges of overcrowding, etc., one of the things that the DG is very clear about in his presentation is that the mission of the DBE and one of its guiding principles is social equity, that we have to use our resources in a way in which children from the most disadvantaged home get the most support. You've mentioned overcrowding.
Yeah.
The DG doesn't address that in this report, but there are other research reports from the DBE, for example, the school monitoring survey, which show us that the poorer children in the lower quintile schools are in the larger classes. There's reports on performance, such as the report on the performance of grade grade 4 reading, which again show the poorest children are the ones that are not learning to read.
Because of time, I'm going to have to cut you there for now. Thank you so much for sharing your insight. I mean, it's quite exciting, Mugeli, and now be sure to be part of this very important discussions. Now, mhlambe ngumfundi webanga leshumi, ithini imincili, luthini uloyiko. We are counting down, but for now, let's take a quick break. Don't move a muscle. You are watching Expressions. Welcome back. You are still tuning into Expressions right here on SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. A journey to 1,000 miles begins with one step. Balithathile inyathelo. Namhlanje siyinkqubo Expressions sithi wuntshu kubo. It certainly has not been easy, but through it all, they are still standing, proving that possibilities are endless. Sawuncokola with the top achievers. Basixelele into yobana bona olu hambo belunjani na. Nabazali sababandakanya kule ngxoxo. Tanya, congratulations on this big achievement. Xa ulapha namhlanje, uziva ntoni, kwenzeka ntoni engqondweni yakho, and what does this moment represent to you?
The final exams, truly speaking, they were pretty hard. Like, I even cried sometimes here and there, but then, yeah, it turns out that I made it to the internationals.
Amazing. And I want to come to you. I mean, you are representing KZN. This moment, right now, ukuvika malako libizwe Magqabini. What does this moment represent for you?
This moment actually for me, it represents that the impossible can be possible if you work hard. If you have that goal in your mind, then you put that action plan into action. I remember when I started Matric, attending extra classes before schools officially reopened, I had that goal in my mind that, okay, I want to be on TV one day. I want to sit there and be one of those top achievers. But what's the plan? Because everything starts as a plan into action, then it finally happens. I had to sacrifice a lot of my time, sleepless nights, the timetable, but for a control, having to go to Amacross nights, sleeping for 1 or 2 hours so that I'll finish everything that I need to study. Your ovalo behlezi lukhona each and every term whereby sisithola my results so that I see, okay, ukuthi ngiyafika kwi-goal yami or angifiki. And sometimes I'll cry ngibona ukuthi no man, the competition is too high, the level of competition is too high, I'm not going to pull it through, I'm not going to reach there. But then I prayed to God and said, God, this is your child, listen to my prayers. Make me someone one day who's gonna make her parents proud, the community proud, and the child at home who feels like there is nothing that supports them or there's nothing where they can take from so that they can be seen in the world. Let me be the inspiration that you can pull, you can push and make it and go through it and succeed.
I'm sure you also faced a number of challenges, and I do want to know ukuthi ukwaze njani ukubalansa yonke into throughout your matric year.
What I just want to say is that time management wasn't really my thing, but when you're in matric, you have to make sure that everything you have to do, you do it on time and it is in line. I did face a lot of challenges, especially in my trial exams when my marks dropped and I felt like everything wasn't going to work out on my finals. But I told myself that I could do it because coming to nationals was one of my biggest dreams because I've been watching the national hours since I was in primary. And it has always been a dream of mine to find myself here. And even when I got the call, I was in shock. I even cried because what was a dream became a reality.
Thabo, awufumana i-call isisho into yokubana uyi-top achiever. Kuthe qatha ntoni engqondweni yakho? And I do want to encourage you because I mean we are Nguni channel into yokubana usebenzise ulwimi lwakho so that nabantu baseLimpopo bakuva into yokubana Kini, he is one of us.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank God for his mercy. I was very excited and overwhelmed. I was over the moon, you know. Yeah, and actually I like to speak Sepedi so that all the media can know that I'm from Limpopo, Beresford. Yeah, negative for message okay. And I got valitebo, I got on air. It's a pillow all Gamarana or message to the Mohon. One day I can like exam jaga. Neganakanakan, Kabatwakamu, Kabar compare the competition in the border. So Nagarata Mudino, Gang Conchicho of Fishamo, Kovani Air, Otamo Halole, Gule, Inzokese, Piloto.
Take us through your journey. Uzoti Kangok.
I was quite shocked. I was so shocked because when I was writing my exams, I was panicking so much. I even fainted, I became ill. So I had doubts. I don't think I'll make it to nationals. I was quite positive that I will definitely get a bachelor because I've been working hard, having sleepless nights since term 1. But I was excited at the same time and proud, and my parents were so excited, I told my relatives, and they were so proud of me. Coming from Etofumbaba, at a rural area, it was just something inspirational.
Indeed, Mbukeli wam, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Ngenene nanganyani, so there is no pain without gain. Sivile ke i-top achievers sharing uhambo lwabo ukuzawuthi gango. Kusiyinkqubo ye-expression sithi huntshu kubo. They are clocking it. Ndiqinisekile nawe apha ekhaya ukhuthazekile. For now, let's take a quick break. Do not move a muscle. You're watching Expressions. Into the biggest youth show in the land, that is Expressions. Kubuhlungu kakhulu ke Mbukeli into yokuba ngaba sithi sikwamkela ngapha sithi nisaleni kakuhle. To every learner, whether you're celebrating okanye you are reflecting okanye ulungisele into yokubana uzame kwakhona, your story is far from over. Okhumbuza kaloku onke amehlo athe ntsho to the Minister of Basic Education, yena kaloku usiviwe kwaRhube, nakubeni ke Mbukeli ezawunikeza iziphumo zika Matric kanye ngentsimbi ka 6 o'clock tonight. Be sure not to miss this. Siyabulela kakhulu ke siyinkqubo ye-Expression sisithi huntshu kubo bonke abaphumeleyo. Kude kube lixa elizayo. Good night.